I got this digital multimeter. Let's take it out of the box and check this thing out. All right, so in the box, it's pretty straightforward. You're gonna get the multimeter itself, the two lead wires that go with it for positive and negative, and then the manual. This does have the little caps on the ends of the wires here on the terminals, so that way you can convert it from one type to another, where you have the long or the safer small tips. And these are going to have little caps inside of them. So the reason they look like they're closed is because they have these two little caps that protect the ends of the wires right here. I'm going to put those back in for now. And then everything you need to know, even if you don't know how to use a multimeter, you just need to know the basics of electricity and electronics. And you can go through all of this and learn about this multimeter. First thing I noticed about this multimeter is it's got a great build quality on it. This is not a cheapy, real lightweight build quality. This thing feels like I could throw it against the wall a few times and not crack or hurt it. Of course, don't do that, but it definitely feels rugged and it definitely feels like it's gonna last through the bumps and bruises that it probably will have through the lifetime of it. All right, so let's test a few things, see how well this thing works. All right, so the two most common things that I use a multimeter for is to check AC and DC voltage. Now, a multimeter can do so much more than that, and I'm not an electrician. We're not gonna have time to go through all that anyway in this video, but what I did wanna say is, if there is ever a manual you wanna read your multimeter manual. And that's because it goes over every one of the settings and at least gives you some basic understanding of what those settings are for before you go out here and just start sticking prongs into electricity. Now in this demonstration, I'm basically just testing out the multimeter to make sure that it's functioning the way I expect it to. And I'm going to test some DC lithium ion batteries here. These are two cells that I do believe are not good, but I've charged them all night long and they should be between 3.7 and 4.2 volts. More on the 4.2 volt side, but we'll see what these are going to do. And then I have this power station here. I'm going to go ahead and test the voltage coming out of the inverter. This should be 110, 120-ish coming out of here, maybe a little more. We're going to find all of that out from here. And I'm going to do all of that with this multimeter. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set it to the right setting. So I have the leads put in. You need to make sure you're putting the leads in correctly. Read the manual. But first thing I'm going to do is test DC. That's this setting right here. So this is the DC voltage. And I'm going to take these leads. I'm going to put the negative on the negative, positive on the positive, 0.896. That's not even a volt. So yeah, this is not a good battery. This cell here, I'm going to touch it to the negative and touch it to the positive. This one is 3.7. It's on the low side. This probably should have been 4.2, but I'll look up the specs on this cell. This may be a lower voltage cell, so I'll check into that. But luckily, it's better than 1 volt. So to test AC, we're going to come over here, and I'm going to set this to AC, right? So now it shows AC power. I'm going to turn this inverter on. Now, again, if you're messing with electricity, hopefully if you're buying a multimeter, you already know electricity can be dangerous, so be careful. I'm going to first put in the negative, and then I'm going to put in the positive, and 127.4 volts. That's great, actually, and that's pretty much what I was expecting. So this is putting out the proper AC voltage that I would expect. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and as you can see, it dropped down to nothing. Some other things that I really like about this is you can just press the little light button. Now, if you're working in the dark, you can actually see the LCD screen. And I mean, it's got so many other features. Again, I can't go over all these features in this video. It'd be way too long, but it's just a really neat multimeter. The build quality on this thing is awesome. I love the fact that it can just hold the probes back here. I love the fact that it's got the kickstand. But yeah, I really like this multimeter, and I really hope this video was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care.